Tea time with Trav. Instead of calling it, who the F did I marry? I want to ask her, where the F is your common sense? So many red flags was given and she purposely ignored them. What's going on, y'all? It's AyooTravv and I'm back, baby back. I'm back again. And before y'all say anything about my hair, y'all already know I'm taking it down. I'm combing the locks out. This is all we have left. It's about 14 locks left. That's it. That's why I've been having on my bonnet. But I know somebody's gonna say something smart anyway. Yeah, let me say grace. Father God, I come to you today to ask you to watch over this food. Please help be a nourishment to my body. Please help me digest this food properly. In my prayer, man, my mom, dumb. Amen. We got Whataburger, y'all. They opened up a new one in Atlanta, over here by Cumberland, and it just gives people more of a reason not to want to leave this area. Cause why do you need to? Let me get y'all close up. More. You ever had Whataburger?
No.
Yo, I got the door open, so Jamie gonna chime in and out on the conversation. The last time I had a patty melt, I put lettuce, tomatoes, all of them there, and y'all was roasting me in the comments. It's not a patty melt anymore. You ruined it, blah blah blah. So we just got it how it come. That's good. Then they have a new fish sandwich. Got a new I don't know if it's new, but I never had it. It's like a honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich, and then this one is a sweet and spicy bacon sandwich. It's supposed to be tartar sauce. Oh, it is on there. Okay. This is the chicken, not, what the hell is this? Fish sandwich. I should have asked them what kind of fish they use. It's probably whitey. Tea time with Trav. So unless you've been living under a rock for the past week or so, you've at least heard about this TikTok saga. Who did I marry? Juvie. I ain't dropping nothing. So, briefly, if you haven't seen it, long story short, it's a lady from Atlanta, and she has a 50-part story about this man that she married, and come to find out he was nothing like who she thought he was. Y'all would really have to go watch it to get everything. I'm gonna go over brief little details, but it's like I want to remix her story, and instead of calling it who the F did I marry, I want to ask her, where the F is your common sense? Because so many red flags was given and she purposely ignored them. So it's like, and then another, honestly, and I don't want to be that person, but a part of me questions how real this story is too, because I'm like, is somebody really that naive to allow all this stuff to keep happening? And not to say that she's lying, but it's like, I don't know, I be having my eyebrow raised when it comes to these TikTokers and all of that. Because if y'all remember, the lady that was saying that she got attacked and hit with a brick by a man because she like didn't want to give him her phone number, something like that. Come to find out, she was scamming. She was scamming. She did all of that herself. She set everything up and she took them people GoFundMe money and she went and lived a lavish lifestyle. So I've been a little hesitant with believing everything I see on social media nowadays because people will do anything to go viral. Hell, look at Jussie Smollett. But anywho, this lady meets this man on, she said multiple apps. They like swipe right on different apps or whatever. So I guess to them they feel like, oh, this must be a match made in heaven right before the pandemic. He told her he had just moved to Georgia from California. So he was living in like a studio apartment. Now I told Jamie the day of their first date would have been my first red flag because, and y'all are probably gonna be like, Trav, you sound crazy, but just listen, just hear me out. On her way to their first date, she popped a tire. The man came, he helped put the spare tire on there, he took it to the tire shop, I believe he paid for the tire and everything as well, and then they still went out on their date. Exactly. I don't know if y'all heard what she just said, but I agree with her. And like I'm saying, it's not that what he did was like, oh my God, that was no. It's just in 2024, granted this happened in 2020, but still, you don't see men going out of their way to do stuff like that. No more. You really don't. And if you do, you raise your eyebrow a little bit. Not because what they're doing is bad or, excuse me, what they're doing is wrong or anything like that. It's just these days it is undamn common. So I would have been like, hold on. But he went above and beyond and we only been knowing each other about a week. Wait a minute, what's going on? I felt a little weird right there. But clearly that's just me. That's just me. So they're talking for 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks. The pandemic happened. Atlanta's on lockdown. And now if you lived in Atlanta, yes, we were on lockdown, but y'all know it was only for a couple of weeks. And then, outside, right back open. She said she didn't want to go through the pandemic by herself. Which I was confused because, lady, you done went 30-something years by yourself. What's different now? So he moves in with her. And I guess it was supposed to be just for the quarantine period, but that quarantine period turned into, 2 years, a year and a half? It made absolutely no damn sense to me. When the world opened back up, they decided they were going to live together and look for a house. She ended up getting pregnant. She ended up losing the baby. But, ooh. That sausage is good. It is sweet and spicy. But anyway. He just kept saying stuff to make himself seem like this perfect person. Like when he told her about his background, he moved to Atlanta from California for this great job that was paying him amazing money. But what also sparked the move was that he got a divorce from his ex-wife because apparently she cheated and all this other kind of stuff. And it's everything to make him sound perfect, right? He talks about his finances. He tells her he got money stashed in the bank, in multiple banks, which again is not uncommon. What is uncommon, He had a letter from Chase, allegedly, stating that, they would loan him the money for the mortgage. They would be the lender. And it was for a house up to $750,000. So initially, he was trying to play off of that. And then, when it's actually time for him to put in an offer for a home, he decides he wants to do an all cash offer, meaning he's going to pay for the house flat out. Now, the first house, he put some stipulations to it, which when you start to look at all the rest of the clips, is like he did that because he knew that it would happen. He told them, because the house had an unfinished basement, he said we would do an all cash offer, if you finish the basement, and we didn't answer within 24 hours. Anybody in their right mind, if they already have that house on the market like that and they have other people trying to buy that the way that it is, why are they going to go ahead and take you up on this different offer where you're going to make them kick out extra money? That don't make sense. He knew they wouldn't agree to that. But instead, he tells his wife, well, now they're engaged. They're engaged and I'm married yet. He tells her that the house is under contract. They're about to have it. They'll get the contract and all that within the next couple of days. She decides to go look online at the house because she's just really excited about it. So she's like planning ideas on, I'm going to put this here. Y'all know how we get when we know we're about to get something and we overly excited. And she sees under there that it's under contract. So she's thinking, all right, this is us. This is us. She gets a call from the realtor. And the realtor didn't even know that he had put in an offer because he didn't. He told his wife he did, and she saw that it was under contract, so she automatically believed it. And he tells her, oh, I don't want to work with that realtor anymore, blah, blah, blah. A couple days later, she decides to look at the house again. Now it's saying the house is completely sold. But he told her that they were ready for the closing. That was one of a gazillion lies. Now, they start looking at more houses, and they're working with a different realtor. This next house they find, of course, he throws out the option of doing an all-cash purchase. The realtor let him know, like, okay, show me, provide all your information for your finances so I can verify all of that. Then we'll go ahead and move forward. He's like, no, I want to know that they are accepting the offer before I provide my finances, which makes no sense. And I can't believe that the realtor that they had before that even was moving forward without verifying their finances. I think that was a mistake on their behalf. But this one was like, well, what we're going to do is we're going to write up all of the paperwork. I'm going to get all your information. I'm going to build your portfolio. You're going to submit that financial information. Then we're going to move forward with the offer. Of course, he didn't like that. And he tells him the reason why he's so safeguarded with his finances is because he's had girlfriends and wives steal from him in the past. Long story short, he didn't really make the money that he said he was making. So he knew when it was time for him to prove it, he couldn't. So of course, you scramble and think of a whole bunch of BS to cover your own ass. And unfortunately, he was married to somebody that would believe the sky is pink, even though they're looking up at it and see that it's blue. Fast forward because I don't want to give all the details because I would never. This video would never end. So he's met some of her friends, some of her family. He's even had phone conversations with them. When it comes to his family, she can hear him on the phone, but she only hears his side of the story. She doesn't hear any voices coming from the other end of the phone, but she didn't think nothing of it. I don't understand why. Allegedly, he had a sister that lived in Georgia. Every time she was supposed to meet the sister, there was always a reason why it couldn't happen. When she wanted to go to his job to, you know, see how he works and all of this, there was always an excuse on why it couldn't happen. That man was living in entire complete lie. A lie. That she didn't start to make sense of until, I guess, God knocked some sense into her. And she had I'm not going to say the brains, I'm going to say the balls to start researching him herself. When they applied for their marriage license, she took a mental note of his social. She ran a background check. Nothing came up. And she let that go. Like, oh, okay. What, girl? As a grown man, and nothing shows up on his profile. Nothing at all. That should have been the biggest red flag for you to start asking questions there. Eventually, she calls the college that he said he went to. He said he went to University of San Diego or something of that nature. I know it's in San Diego. And so she's trying to just start to verify the stories that he had been telling her. Long story short, they told her they didn't have any recollection. How you say the word? Recollection? Is that it? Jamie? Is it recollection?
What are you saying?
They didn't have any recollection of him being there. Recollection.
I think so. Just say they didn't recall.
Whatever the damn word is. They couldn't find him in their system. They couldn't find him in their system. There we go. The chicken tender is hard. There we go. I have both dogs surrounding me right now. Get up here. But they tell her they cannot find him in their system at all. And now this raises an eyebrow for her finally. Because he told her that he was on the football team. And now his lie to cover that up is when he went to school, his dad paid big money for his identity to be hidden. She said they didn't know him by his name, identification number, anything like that. All he had to do, if he wanted to go on campus or go into a building or something like that, he would just show them this private membership card. And I'm like, girl. Now, she didn't necessarily believe him with that, but she still stayed. And I'm just like, all right. Here we go. She wanted them. She wanted them. Now she decides that she's going to get a new job. And of course, like I said, I am skipping over details because it is very long. It's 50 parts and they each are 10 minutes long. It's long. So he promised her a car. That didn't fall through. He promised her a house. That didn't fall through. He promised her this. He promised her that. Everything he promised to that lady never happened. Never happened. She gets a new job. With her new job, she has to fill out a new employment package, basically, like a little binder with all this information she got to fill out. Her personal information, her spouse's personal information, etc. When he signs it, she notices the social security number that he put on the marriage license was not the same that he put on her work packet. So now she's questioning herself. Of course. Maybe it didn't show any results last time because I remembered the wrong numbers. No. You remember the right numbers. Your man is a fraud. So she says she vividly remembers that the first 3 numbers are different. And then she goes in and explains something that I didn't know myself. But I didn't know the first 3 numbers were based off your state, like the state that you were born in. I didn't know that. So she was saying this new one didn't match. I think it was the old one didn't match Philly, and the new one did, or whatever the case may be. So now she looks up this social. She looks up this new social. And now this one shows all the places that he's ever lived in. And of course, California is not one of them. It shows other people's information. So she then is able to find his mother's obituary. And every obituary, at least in the black communities, I'm not sure about white or, other nationalities, they put, so if it was me, they would say, AyooTravv is survived by, and they will list my relatives or my parents or my spouse, etc. They list him, and they list somebody who she did not know to ever be married to him. So a whole different person, it's a whole different name than what he gave her to begin with. So now she's like, what the hell is going on? Who the hell is this? She put on her FBI hat. She was able to find the ex-wife. And the ex-wife at first was like, hold on, like, first off, who are you? How'd you give him information? And she just flat out told her, like, look, I'm married to XYZ. I think he's lying about this, da-da-da. I hope you don't think I'm crazy. I'm just desperate to get some answers right now. And the ex-wife worked with her. Like, she's like, that man is lying. Just giving her the 411 and letting her know, get out. Get out while you can. Unfortunately for her, she did not leave immediately. She let more lies and lies and lies build up. I'm still not done, so I can't speak on the very final part of it because I'm not sure. I still got like 12 or 13 parts left to go. It really is long. And my attention span my eyes get to rolling everywhere and I'd be confused. But she ended up catching him sexting. And that's what drew the line. Because she found out that he had been sleeping around with a prostitute. I don't know if I can say that word on here, but he slept around with a prostitute. And she said she wasn't upset about the cheating. She felt relieved because she didn't believe in divorce, but she was like, I know God will forgive me if I divorce somebody for infidelity. So she felt like, whew, a weight is lifted off my shoulder. Now I can divorce this man. So she kicks him out the house. He then goes back to Philadelphia. She gets a call from his aunt. She thinks he's been in communication with his aunt this entire time. He wasn't. She thinks he's been talking to his brother, his sister, every day, this entire time. He wasn't. He doesn't even have sisters. Let's start there. He doesn't have sisters. I still don't know who these people are. I do believe one of them is one of his ex-girlfriends because I remember early in the story where she said his ex-girlfriend lived in that same place where he said the sister lived. So I think I'm putting those two together. I still got to finish it. And she was like, yeah, he talks to his brothers every day. And she was like, well, first off, how many brothers do you think he have? And she was like, well, he has 4 and he has 2 sisters. She said, no, he doesn't. 1, he doesn't have sisters at all. 2, he has 2 brothers, one of them being his twin. She didn't even know this man had a twin. She didn't know he had a twin at all. And the aunt let her know he hasn't spoken to his siblings in years. The whole family pretty much cut him off. So there was at one point he lied to her and told her his grandma had died from COVID that same year that they were together. Come to find out, his grandmother died in 2008. Shortly after the grandma allegedly died, he told her his uncle had passed away from COVID. His uncle had died in 2016. This man was full of shit. Full of shit. But all in all, what I learned in this story, a couple things. This just reminded me why you should not go looking for love. This story lets you know why you should not go looking for love, because once you go looking for it, you are blinded by what you want to see versus what's right there in front of your face. And that's exactly what happened with this girl, because she had every sign. The only thing left for God to do was to come down here and smack her upside the head himself. He gave her every sign for over a year, and she ignored every last one of them. And I was just like, girl, what the hell? What is going on? And she said she didn't tell like her family and friends and stuff while it was happening, because she knew how they were going to react. And ultimately, she wanted to be married. So I feel like she put up with this because she was so desperate to be married. And you see so many people like that because they have a fear of dying alone, or they don't even know how to be alone. One of my exes, I had to tell him by himself. He was always in a new relationship. One would end, about a month later, he's in a new one. Now I told him, you're never going to be happy in a relationship because you're not happy by yourself. If you don't know how to be alone and love yourself and accept yourself, have fun with yourself, talk to yourself, do whatever with yourself, how the hell are you going to expect somebody to love you for you when you can't even love you for yourself? And I think that played a part in why she stayed. She was desperate for that man's love, that man's attention, that man's affection. And that's what being desperate gets you. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but that's literally what it was. Like, she was being damn desperate. She was that desperate to be married that she purposely overlooked all of this stuff that she knew was not real, was not true, and kept making excuses for him just so she could stay married. And this is what she got. And like I said, I really do hope that it's a real story, and I hope it don't come out later on down the line that she lied to go viral, because we've seen it happen a plethora of times. But ladies, I hope this is just, whether it's real or not, I hope this is a wake-up call for y'all. Dudes will lie. This is not even just for the women. This is for everybody. Because everybody lie. When you are trying to get into a relationship, you put your best foot forward the same way you do for a job application. You lie. You tell them, yes, I can carry this much. I can be on my feet for this long. I type at this speed per second. I can do this on Photoshop. I can do that on iMovie, knowing good goddamn well you can't. You lie. You put your best foot forward. And then once you get in good and you comfortable, then you let the real you out. And every day you be at work like, I really don't care about this job. Because you don't. You just there for the check. It's there for the check. That's what people do in relationships. They're going to tell you everything they want you to hear so they can get everything out of you that they want. Whether it's sex. What are y'all doing? Whether it's sex, it's money, a place to stay, because a lot of people do be homosexuals. Clearly, he was one of them. A homosexual, what is that, you may ask? Okay, I don't know what part of that cut off, so I'm just said all over again. A homosexual. You're a hobo. You're homeless. You ain't got nowhere to stay. So you're not gay, you're not bi, it's not even about that. You doing what you got to do with who you got to do it with just for you to have a place to stay. That's what her ex-husband was. He was a homosexual. So you got to watch out for people like that. You got to watch out for people like that. When you dealing with somebody and they are in a worse situation than you are, this is not to say judge them. This is not to say treat them like they're beneath you or anything like that. That's telling you to watch your goddamn back. Because you don't want to look like, you don't want to be a come up. That's what you don't want to be. So if somebody, cause it's always going to be like that. No two people are going to have the same thing. Even Jay-Z and Beyonce. Places where she excelled in, he liked in. Places he excelled in, she liked in. Nobody's ever going to be on the same level. But you want to make sure that they are as close to your level as possible. And she knew off rip when she went to that man's house that there was no way that he worked the way he said he worked or lived the way he said he lived. And if she thought that, then they belong together. You have to watch. You gotta watch. You gotta watch. And those be the main ones. They start out treating you so good. Trust me, I would know. The ones that ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw out of. They're gonna be perfect when y'all first meet. They're gonna be perfect because they are putting on, they are saving face. They are filling out their job application. But the minute you get them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. They're gonna take a mile. And they're going to slip up and they're going to get caught because they still going to have that broke mindset. And you're going to catch them slipping like I did. But yeah, if y'all have about 20 hours out of your day, I would say it's an interesting watch. Is Who the F Did I Marry? It originated on TikTok, but you can just type it in on YouTube and you'll see some people have put all of the things together. Because me personally, I wasn't about to go through my phone and, okay, part one. All right, let me score. I wasn't going to do that. But it's cool. And like I said, whether it's real or fake, it's a little interesting for sure. For sure. You ain't got nothing to, you ain't got nothing to watch. It's interesting. I do believe at some point in our lifetime, they are going to make a movie out of this. I do hope that whoever decides to do it, she's a part of it. Because again, whether she made it up or not. Whether she made it up or not, it's her story. So I hope whatever film company, production company, TV network, whichever one decides to touch this, I hope they do right by that lady and let her be a part. Because we know how this can go. I'm pretty sure I can name a couple of networks that's probably on it right now. And they probably never reached out to her. I'm sure there's a couple. And I'm also sure we all know we all can name at least one of them and it'd be the same. So yeah. Y'all watch out. Watch out when y'all dating these people. Don't believe everything that come out their damn mouth. Excuse me. And do a little research on them. Do a background check on them. Everybody I date, I do some kind of research on them. I do some kind of background check. I run it through my friends. I try to get as much out of their friends as possible as well. You got to. And it's not to just automatically assume that they're lying. But if you off rip assume that somebody's lying, when you find out they're lying, you will not be hurt. You can't trust people these days. It's sad to say, but it's real. And I'm too much of an open book for me to tell you so many truths just to find out that you've been telling me nothing but lies. That's the part that makes me mad. It's not necessarily that you lied, even though I will hate you for that. It's more so you got some stuff out of me that I probably wouldn't have told the average person just to find out. And I'm thinking that we're on the same type of timing, but just to find out that you're a liar. That's going to get you got. But anyway, I'm out of here, so y'all know what to do. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to the channel. Hit the red button right there. Bam in the barrel right there. Bam, so you can notify each and every time I'm dropping a video. But if you don't, if you want to stay connected with AyooTravv, jump to that description box, scroll down to the bottom, boom. Right there, going to see my social media. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that. And follow them, come to Instagram, them come there, do whatever. Let me like, what's done, what's one, see what's done, what's what's one, see what's done, what's one, leave what's done, what's done, something. Other than that, it's been real. AyooTravv's out. AyooTravv's out. AyooTravv's out. There we go.